Okay, hi, my name is Polku, and what is Cradle? First of all, I must say this will be pretty spoilerific, or there is a great risk for spoilers in this review, and this is actually a review because I have finished the game and done pretty much all the achievements by accident. Was supposed to be a first impressions video, but I got so engaged on the story, so I played it all the way through, so sorry about that. But what is Cradle? Cradle is a walking sim or virtual installation style of game, although it has some interaction and quite heavy emphasis on exploration and finding little pieces of information all around the world. It came out in late 2015. I purchased it right away, but I'm just doing the review now because I thought this is good first review to make. I thought I'd made Carmedegoon reincarnation one, but I played it about 3 hours and then I started to feel like I'm coming fatigued from the game, so I thought I should play it more to get more accurate impression of the game. But to this game, it's made by Flying Cafe for Semi-Animals. It's a Ukrainian studio. Already lost my train of thought. But this game it's slightly buggy still, and it's missing some features, I think, in the settings menu. There is quite a lot. There is some already. There's texture quality. This slider, I don't know what this does. It would be nice to know what this slider actually did. There wasn't field of view slider originally, but they added it a couple of patches ago. It goes up to 80, but I was able to play it at the original 50, but now that it is here, I raised it to 75. Here is all the keyboard commands, how used. Unfortunately, you cannot rebind them, but at the positive side, they added the gamepad controls here, but these are also not rebindable, which is not great, but it's nice to have finally the controller support, at least. But I would like to see those be rebindable, everything here. Sound and music volume, it's okay. Maybe master volume would be nice also to have. Mouse sensitivity, I give it about here. There is still some slight weirdness with my mouse. It feels like some form of acceleration, I'm not sure, but here it's tolerable, and I like to play here with these settings. Let's actually jump in and show you a little bit of the gameplay. I'm not sure. I think this where I'm starting is something like 2 to 3 hours in. I'm pretty sure. Yes, I think this is about 2 to 3 hours in, depending how much you do wandering. And straight away you see this game has just this beautiful art style. It's just pretty much breathtaking. I saw this first press release shots from this game and I was sold. This is just beautiful. Here is Ida. She's main character in this game. I won't talk about her just yet. I'll talk about her a little bit later. I'll show a little bit about the world and some interaction in it before I talk to her, and I'll avoid talking to her as long as I can because there is pretty surely a spoiler in that conversation. But as you can see, this is kind of interesting world. You can see this science fiction elements here, these futuristic screens, this android body, Ida, and there is tons of information on the walls. You can pretty much click on anything and it will give you information screen about what it is, or let's see, there's slight wonkiness on the physics sometimes like that, but nothing too serious. Okay, I think that is I'll use that. That's pretty much the first thing you read in this game, so it's not too big of a spoiler. So here it gives you this screen where there is number of lines of text. Pretty much all the backstory in this game is communicated through these clippings you can find pretty much everywhere. For example, I can open this and let's take those out, and there is a couple of clippings under here you can read, and is there anything else? There's limited interaction. As you can see, I can pick up I can pick up that, but I think I can pick up this. It's not so useful, but in most cases, but it gives more of a feeling of world you actually are in, as you can pick up these little items and do silly things with them. Is there anything else here inside? And some of these might be actually used for some quest later on, and so what do I have then? Let's actually go outside there. If I remember correctly, we will hear some music and some beats pretty soon. Oh, there's some weird frame drops. This is not a bug-free game. This. Okay, now the music starts. I love this. I'll actually be silent for a moment and let the music play. So as you can hear and see, this is pretty much very well stylized game. The music is ethereal and it's just great. Let's go to this other area here, and I think we'll hear a little bit of dialogue from Ida. She gives a slight voiceover here, and it will contain some spoiler, so be warned. And I'll be silent so you can hear the voice acting. Okay, then so we'll start. We'll start actually. She should start right about now, I think. What?
You wanted to know about the look screen. When you undergo a transfer, you put your palm over the palm of your future body and look into its eyes. It's like looking into a mirror. But this part is crucial. The transfer can't happen without it. Then you're immersed into a kind of peculiar state when you see yourself from the side. On a signal, you push off with your palm and a mirror appears between you. And then you're alone again, in your new body.
Okay, there was a little bit of exposition. Okay, what should I actually be doing here? Together on second puppy. Okay, I can actually show you some of the minigames. The minigame in this game. But this art style is just beautiful. The sky, it is very vibrant, but it gives us this nice feeling of little bit washed out aquarellist style. It's just there is the second pavilion. It just feels great. Oh, there is the enemy. They are not a big threat. You can pretty much throw sticks at them and they disappear. And there is no actual harm from getting hit from them, but it gives this nice feeling of strangeness and mystery for this game. Let's actually put this in my inventory. Although there is some wonkiness with inventory, doesn't actually save it from session to session. So let's go up here. And let's go. I've heard
I see you. Opening.
Quite a lot of criticism of these minigames. There is people have been complaining that they feel odd, and I feel with them they feel odd, but as the story progresses, these actually start to make sense, and you feel that the off feeling of these parts is supposed to be that way. But so let's go into this minigame. There's also these are not very interesting. I'll show you a little bit of them and explain how they work. Then I'll most likely cut the rest of the out, and then go on. Okay, here is the rules. So I have to collect 30 pink cubes, and pretty much that's it. It's not too hard. Did this grass already? No. No, it's worse. So let's collect that. Then get those. Okay, rid of it. That guy. Okay, then those guys. I hate those guys. So there is the central stream. You have to throw these pink blocks in there. There goes the last one. Oh, this gives slightly more interesting pacing for this game. They vary the game up a little bit, although they can feel a bit sorry. So, and there is huge spoiler here. I think. please close your eyes and ears if you don't want to hear it. Okay, this. Let's put it in my inventory so I don't lose it. Let's go down the slide. Woo-hoo. This is as you can see, this is a theme park, and there are fights and such. So
I told you about the mirror between you and your former body. So, the mirror is turned on at the exact moment when your former body loses its original's right. It is concealed to keep you from seeing your face as it's put to death. The reason is that sometimes there are involuntary, mimicking contractions that resemble a smile. Obviously, that is something best left unseen.
Okay, there was another bit of dialogue. Not to spoil with it, but those pieces, little by little, give you the impression what has happened to the world and what's come of human race. And oh, there is another character. There is practically 3 characters in this game. We have enemies, who is you. We have Ida, and then we have this fellow who is quite interesting fellow. I'll again warn you about spoilers, so I can when I'm talking to him. So big spoiler for warning.
Have you got a death wish? Why would you go there?
Where?
Oh, nowhere. Did you bring the flowers?
Here you go.
Attaboy. Here is your lens. My word is my bond. I'm not even going to ask what you want with it. I don't know what's going on in your head today. And I don't want to know.
So here is the dialogue tree. And it's pretty much linear. You just ask the question here.
Tabaha, what do you know about this amusement park?
Stay away from it if you know what's good for you. Why do you think it's been fenced off? Because you shouldn't go in there. You'll be better off.
This is the huge selling point in this game. Is eyes on the characters. Their other parts of their face doesn't move. Only the eyes, and it gives such a what's the right word? Living feeling of this. They are so. What's the word? Expressive with their eyes. It's this. I love this art style. So let's talk to the rest through this dialogue. One more point during this dialogue. As you can see, that your main character is also voice acted, and I feel that it's the biggest drawback of this game. The voice of your main character. You can overcome it, but it feels slightly stilted. First of all, I'm not so much into giving first-person games a protagonist of the first-person game a voice, because it feels uncanny. I much rather just read the text and imagine myself saying it, because it's first-person game. And when you decide to voice your POV character in first-person game, I feel it should be a little bit better than this. I'm not complaining too much, because you can overcome it. It's not something too distracting, but it rips you out of the experience a little bit. But let's actually now talk this conversation through.
But Tabaha, they don't do transfers to kids.
Mixed texture quality here. The bumper was really low texture, but the actual drum is exceptionally high quality. There is slight variation in texture quality here and there, but overall it's pretty good, as you can see. Let's actually go back to those dialogues. They are pretty well written and communicate the world and the characters pretty well. I feel they seem always in character and give the exposition they give pretty well. They don't the actual writing of these things doesn't feel stilted. Other voice actors are good, and part of it may be because their voice comes through those lightly Android filters, these mechanical filters, and it feels more natural for them to not speak as flowingly as and slightly stiffer, so it doesn't bother so much as the main characters. So what's actually we have to actually talk to Ida. Oh, that's quite a big spoiler, I feel. So I'll just wander around and show you a little bit of the world and talk my conclusions. I don't want to give that big spoiler as it would be to talk to Ida at this point. So what do I actually think of this game? Let's talk the simple things first: the performance, the art style, and the fidelity. But I feel the performance it's a little bit all over the place actually. Right now I'm actually getting nearly 120 FPS, but as you most likely will see in the video, there will be some very weird frame drops to nearly 20 frames per second, and that's not very good. And I have these seem very random, so it feels like a optimization issue. Now I'm actually down to 75 FPS. And when I look that way, it's 120. Okay, there is not lots overture, but as I look here, it drops straight down to 75-ish. And if I think I can go inside. If I don't speak to Ida, and if I go into the yard, it stays around 100 FPS. So it's not that terrible, but there is those random drops. There's also the issue with the key rebinding that there is none. The fidelity is mostly good. The textures are quite nice. Mostly there's those few textures as I pointed out, like the bumper on the tram that isn't so great, but at most part they can take quite a close look before you start to see those. But then there is these some that are just outstanding. There is quite a lot of variance actually on these texture qualities, but in most parts they are good. Then the sound design is great. I feel like I'm in this Mongolian steppe. The wind howls and the howls and eagles scream and birds sing. It just feels spot on. The music is great. It's this, I don't know how to say it, but it's just beautiful. And even the theme park music on those pavilions, it feels although it's here, it feels slightly off. It feels just right for the theme of this game. You feel that there is something off in this world. Art style of this game, all the visual arts, aesthetics. This game feels looks like just great. It conveys this feeling of mixture of reality and aquarelle painting. It feels forced out but realistic. It feels cartoony but still just right. It just is such a well thought out aesthetic. I'm pretty much in love with this game's aesthetic, and the game is pretty much exploration game. So I feel there is a little bit of dissonance between the story-driven in narrative with Ida, whom I haven't speak lots because pretty much all her dialogue is story dialogue, so it would be a spoiler. But that dialogue starts to drive urgency quite early on, and core gameplay of this exploration, finding things around here, walking the way to the Gerber Garden there. This feels serene. There is this dissonance between the gameplay and story. I feel like there should be more breathing room in the dialogue also, more idle conversation with those characters, so we could get a little bit more out of their personalities. We get plenty in the conversations that are in this game, but I feel like I would have loved to have more of these idle conversations and actual interaction with the main characters. But everything that is in the game is pretty well written. There is some slight variation on the quality of the dialogue sometimes, but I feel that may most likely is translation issues in the dialogue. But in the most part, the writing is subliminal. It's just the pieces of information you find around the world is just great and well written. They fit together well, and gives you the opportunity to interpret the story and the world in your own way. I think that is the strength of this game. It's just the openness of the story. You have the freedom of interpretation. So it comes to would I recommend this game. If you like games like The Arrester or what else these kinds of games there are, these games that are more about experiencing and exploring these stories and worlds, I think you will love this game also. There is quite a lot of hidden secrets around here, all around. There is lots of pieces of information to find, and there is interesting world and story behind those little bits of information you to interpret. So if you like those things, I think you will like this game also. It's still a bit buggy. There is performance issues. There's those weird textures, but as the writing is the main part of this game, those technical issues aren't so big issues. They can slightly hamper your suspense of disbelief, but not too badly. There is a lot to like here, but I would love to see those refinable keys still a little bit more optimization of this game, and so on. So my name's been Polku, and thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more.